Did you know that 85% of your success in life has nothing to do with how smart you are or what you know? That's right. According to research by the Carnegie Institute of Technology, your financial success, your relationships, even your happiness, comes down to one thing: how well you deal with people. And here's the crazy part. Most of us are never actually taught this skill. We go to school, we learn math, science, history, but nobody teaches us the art of human relations. That's exactly why Dale Carnegie wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People back in 1936. This book has sold over 30 million copies and changed millions of lives. Why? Because Carnegie cracked the code on human behavior. He figured out the psychological principles that make people tick. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds manipulative. But here's the thing. Carnegie isn't teaching you to manipulate people. He's teaching you to genuinely connect with them, to understand what they want, and to help them get it while achieving your own goals too. Welcome to the CEO's Bookshelf, where ambitious leaders discover the books that separate the successful from the extraordinary. Today, we are going to break down this entire book for you, all the key principles that can transform your relationships, your career, and your life. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll have a complete roadmap for becoming someone people genuinely want to be around. Part 1. Fundamental Techniques. Alright, let's get into the meat of the book. Part 1 covers the 3 fundamental techniques for handling people. Principle 1. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. This one's tough because criticism feels so natural to us. But here's what Carnegie discovered. Criticism is completely futile. It puts people on the defensive and makes them want to justify themselves, not change. Even criminals like Al Capone didn't think they were wrong. They rationalized everything. Abraham Lincoln learned this the hard way. Early in his career, he wrote harsh, critical letters that almost got him into a duel. After that near disaster, he almost never criticized anyone again. Even during the Civil War, when his generals were making massive mistakes, Lincoln found ways to guide them without direct criticism. Principle 2. Give honest and sincere appreciation. Carnegie calls this addressing the deepest urge in human nature, the craving to be appreciated. This isn't about fake flattery that backfires with smart people. This is about finding genuine things to appreciate about others and expressing it. Successful leaders use this skill to arouse enthusiasm among their people through appreciation and encouragement. They are hearty in approbation and loath to find fault. Principle 3. Arouse in the other person an eager want. The only way to get anyone to do anything is to make them want to do it. This means understanding what they want and showing them how to get it. It's like fishing. You don't bait the hook with what you like, you use what the fish wants. Andrew Carnegie once got his nephews to write home by casually mentioning he was going to send them money in his next letter. Suddenly, they were very motivated to write. These 3 principles work because they tap into basic human psychology, our need to feel important, appreciated, and to get what we want. Part 2. 6 ways to make people like you. This is all about likability, how to become the kind of person others are naturally drawn to. These 6 principles are gold. Principle 1. Become genuinely interested in other people. Dogs make more friends in 2 months by being genuinely interested in people than most humans make in 2 years trying to get people interested in them. Theodore Roosevelt was incredibly popular because he remembered details about everyone, even asking White House servants about their families and their cornbread. Principle 2. Smile. A smile says, "I'm glad to see you," and "I'm happy." William Steinhardt, a stockbroker, transformed his entire life just by deciding to smile more. He found that everyone started smiling back at him, and it literally brought him more business and better relationships. Principle 3. Remember that a person's name is the sweetest sound to them. Andrew Carnegie was so good at this that he named a steel mill after a potential client just to win the contract. Your name makes you feel unique among all others. Principle 4. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. This is one of the highest compliments you can pay anyone. Carnegie once spent an entire evening at a dinner party listening to a botanist talk about plants. He knew nothing about botany, but by the end of the night, the botanist called him the most interesting conversationalist he'd ever met. The secret? Carnegie was interested, not interesting. Principle 5. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. Just like fishing, you need to bait the hook with what the fish wants, not what you want. Henry Ford said his secret of success was the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from their angle as well as your own. Principle 6. Make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. John Dewey called the desire to be important the deepest urge in human nature. This is what drives human civilization. But it has to be sincere. Fake flattery backfires. These 6 principles work because they address fundamental human needs, the need to feel heard, understood, important, and valued. Part 3. Win people to your way of thinking. Part 3 is where things get really interesting. This is about persuasion. How to get people to see things your way without argument or force. Carnegie gives us 12 powerful principles here. Principle 1. You can't win an argument. You can never win an argument. Even when you prove someone wrong, you lose because you've hurt their pride. As Carnegie says, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. Patrick O'Hare, a truck salesman, spent years winning arguments but losing sales. The moment he stopped fighting and started agreeing, he became a star salesman. Avoid arguments like poisonous snakes. Buddha said, hatred is never ended by hatred but by love. There's always a better way. Principle 2. Never say you're wrong. These words are dynamite to relationships. They attack a person's intelligence and pride, making them fight back rather than listen. Benjamin Franklin learned to replace certainly with gentler words like, I believe. Instead of you're wrong, try, I may be mistaken, but let's examine the facts. This magical phrase opens minds instead of closing them. Principle 3. If you are wrong, admit it. When you're wrong, admit it fast and emphatically. Ferdinand Warren, a commercial artist, used this technique to win the goodwill of a petulant, scolding buyer of art. He faced an angry client, but struck first. You're absolutely right. I'm completely at fault. The client's anger melted away and he defended Ferdinand. It's much easier to listen to self-criticism than condemnation from others. This isn't weakness, it's strategic brilliance. Principle 4. Begin in a friendly way. Lincoln said, a drop of honey catches more flies than a gallon of vinegar. Friendliness disarms hostility faster than any argument. Start every difficult conversation with genuine warmth. Principle 5. Get the other person saying yes immediately. When someone says no, their entire body builds walls against you. But yes creates an accepting state. Socrates knew this. He asked questions opponents had to agree with, building yeses until they embraced his conclusions. A bank teller got a stubborn customer to comply by asking, wouldn't you want us to help your family? 2 yeses opened the door completely. Principle 6. Let them talk. Most people trying to persuade talk too much. People have ideas crying for expression. Let them out first. A sales rep with laryngitis was forced to let his client do all the talking. Result: his biggest order ever. Be the listener. Become the most influential person in the room. Principle 7. Let them feel the idea is theirs. People trust ideas they discover themselves infinitely more than those handed to them. Eugene Wesson, a sketch salesman, spent 3 years unsuccessfully trying to sell to a top New York stylist, despite weekly visits. After studying human behavior, he changed his approach, bringing unfinished sketches and asking the buyer for input. The buyer gave suggestions, Wesson incorporated them, and the designs were accepted. Since then, the buyer has regularly ordered sketches based on his own ideas. Plant seeds. Let others discover them. Principle 8. See things from their perspective. Before influencing anyone, understand why they think as they do. There's always a reason. Find it, and you'll find the key to their heart. Dean Donham spent hours before meetings thinking about others' interests and motives. This isn't manipulation, it's empathy, the foundation of influence. Principle 9. Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas. Humans universally crave sympathy. When someone attacks you, respond with understanding. If I were in your position, I'd feel the same way. Sympathy neutralizes the acid of hard feelings and opens hearts to your message. Principle 10. Appeal to the nobler motives. Everyone wants to be seen as honorable and unselfish. When John D. Rockefeller Jr. wanted photographers to stop taking pictures of his children, he didn't demand it. He appealed to their protective instincts as parents, reminding them, "You know how it is, boys. You've got children yourselves, some of you, and you know it isn't good for kids to have too much publicity." Principle 11. Dramatize your ideas. Truth needs to be vivid and dramatic to gain attention. Just stating facts isn't enough. You need to make your ideas vivid and interesting. Use stories, demonstrations, visual aids. Make your point memorable. In our age of entertainment, make your ideas come alive through showmanship and vivid demonstration. Principle 12. Throw down a challenge. Appeal to people's desire to excel and prove their worth. Charles Schwab motivated underperforming workers by simply writing 6 on the floor, their daily output. Night shift saw it, erased it, wrote 7. Day shift responded with 10. This simple challenge transformed the worst performing mill into the best. Make it a game and watch people rise. These 12 principles aren't just techniques. They're a philosophy of respecting human nature while achieving your goals. Master them and you'll discover something amazing. When you stop trying to force people to think like you, they naturally start wanting to. Part 4. Be a leader. Part 4 is the advanced course, how to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. This is true leadership. Carnegie gives us 9 principles that can transform how you influence others. Principle 1. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. Here's the thing. Criticism hits like a hammer, but praise works like magic. Before you point out what's wrong, acknowledge what's right. Imagine your team member just delivered a project late, but the quality is exceptional. Instead of saying, "This is late, but good work," try, "The quality of this work is outstanding. Your attention to detail really shows." Let's talk about how we can hit our deadlines while maintaining this high standard. It's like a doctor using anesthesia before surgery. The correction still happens, but without the pain. Principle 2. Call attention to mistakes indirectly. Direct criticism creates defensiveness. Indirect correction creates learning. Instead of saying, "You did this wrong," try, "We're really proud of you." And by continuing your conscientious efforts, you could improve even more. Change "but" to "and." It makes all the difference. Instead of saying, "Your presentation was disorganized," try, "I loved your insights about market trends." I wonder if grouping similar points together might make the message even more powerful. You're not attacking their competence, you're collaborating on improvement. Principle 3. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing others. This one's a game changer. When you admit your own failures first, you remove the sting from feedback. "I used to struggle with time management too. I once missed 3 deadlines in 1 week. Here's what I learned that might help you." Suddenly, you're not the judge. You're the mentor who's been where they are. Principle 4. No one likes to take orders. Commands create compliance. Questions create commitment. Instead of, "Fix this report by tomorrow," try, "What do you think would make this report more compelling?" How soon could you implement those changes? When people participate in the solution, they own the outcome. Principle 5. Let the other person save face. This might be the most important principle in the book. Hurting a man in his dignity is a crime. Public embarrassment kills motivation forever. Always provide an escape route for dignity. If someone makes a mistake in a meeting, address it privately later. If you must correct them publicly, do it in a way that preserves their reputation. That's an interesting perspective. I wonder if we might also consider. Great leaders understand that protecting someone's dignity isn't just kind, it's smart. Principle 6. Praise every improvement and praise the slightest improvement. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. Praise is like sunlight to the human spirit. We can't grow without it. An animal trainer said he praised his dogs for the slightest improvement, and they kept getting better. The same works with people. Most people wait for perfection before giving praise. Leaders praise progress. Caught your usually late employee arriving on time? Acknowledge it. See a shy team member speak up in a meeting? Celebrate it. Small acknowledgements create big transformations. People don't just live up to expectations, they live up to appreciation. Principle 7. Give a dog a good name. This is psychological magic. Tell someone they're naturally good at something and they'll work hard to prove you right. You have such a natural talent for connecting with difficult clients, can transform someone's entire approach to customer service. A teacher transformed the school's worst troublemaker by telling him she heard he was a natural leader and she was counting on him to help make their class the best in school. He lived up to that reputation. You're not lying. You're seeing potential they might not see in themselves. Principle 8. Make faults seem easy to correct. Instead of, "You're terrible at public speaking," try, "You have great ideas. With a little practice, you'll be a confident presenter." Let's start with short updates in team meetings. Make the mountain seem like a molehill, and people will actually climb it. Principle 9. Make the other person glad to do what you want. This is the master principle. Frame your request in terms of what they want, not what you want. And frame requests in terms of their benefits, not your needs. Instead of, "I need this report by Friday," try, "Getting this analysis completed by Friday will position you perfectly for next week's strategy meeting with the executive team." When people see what's in it for them, resistance melts away. These principles work because they preserve people's dignity while motivating them to change. They tap into our deepest psychological needs to feel important, competent, and respected. Every single day, you have dozens of opportunities to apply these principles. Every conversation, every email, every interaction is a chance to practice these skills. Pick just one principle from today's video. Maybe it's remembering names, or giving sincere appreciation, or letting others do more of the talking. Focus on that one thing for the next week and watch what happens. These aren't just communication tips, they're life skills that can transform your relationships, advance your career, and make you genuinely happier. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember, 85% of your success comes from your people skills, so why not invest in developing them?